Well, hello everybody. Nick McGinnis here, Meadow Green Farm. It was a late day at work, getting home a little late, and I gave the cows about 2.5 acres yesterday, right around this time. And usually I'm moving the cows every single day, but some days, unfortunately, just a little bit too late getting home from work and other responsibilities. So I knew that was coming. And I gave them a little more grass than they needed. And I'll come out here first thing in the morning, 5 in the morning, and move them. But this pasture, which I've never seen to this extent, Jesus, almost got butted by a cow. Or at least that's what I thought was happening. Anyway, I'd given this pasture almost 6 weeks longer than normal before the first rotation through. And I had frost seeded it a couple of years ago with some clover. And I'm just doing the inspection here. There's a lot of areas where, when I first came in here, I thought they had grazed it down quite a bit, which was surprising given the amount of forage. But actually what they've done is trampled a lot of it down. And some of this red clover is just going to seed. So you can't ask for a better time to get some of this stuff trampled down. So this is really going to help develop the sod, thicken up that sod, which means it's going to be more durable and more resistant to over impaction from the cattle's hooves. But overall, I'm just really impressed. It's amazing what a good rest can do. And it's all right every other year to change your approach up a little bit. Some years maybe you want to put in high density animal impact, graze it down and let certain grass species come back. And then other years, don't be afraid to let things get a little bit over mature. Now this farm and this field in particular, which was pasture from probably, well, I've got aerial photographs going back 1954 to 1980. This was pasture land, and they had a few dairy cows here at the time. The barn, you can see the roof, it's about 150 yards away. I think what they would have done back then is they would have had 3 or 4 milking cows and probably borrowed a neighbor's bull, and they would have just let the cows out into about 15 acres here. This whole ridge was pasture. It's since been planted about 25 years ago with black spruce. And they just would have let continuous grazing probably from June 1st to October 1st. So we've, in just a matter of 4 or 5 years here, through rotating the cattle, high impact, have totally transformed this pasture. And when I'm talking about giving it a bit of a rest period like we did this year, I'm not advocating for doing that every year. And just as a little bit of an example, this pasture, this whole field here, which is now down to about 8 acres because a lot of it's been planted and it's quite mature, it was left fallow for 20 years. And when we started grazing it again, maybe 5 years ago, I'll have to check my records, it wasn't a very vibrant stand of grass. It would have a nice flush in the first of the spring, but it looked very mature, not that high. There wasn't a whole lot of diversity in the grasses. There was no clover. So we frost seeded it, rolled hay out here, and 5 years later, I suppose it would be, it's just totally transformed. And we're gonna move these cows first thing in the morning and give this probably 45, 50 day rest. And that is going to be key. And really one of my goals this year is to extend my grazing season much later than I was able to last year. So I'm hoping to be able to not feed any hay until at least December 1st. I think that's kind of a conservative estimate. And if I can get them to Christmas time without having to feed hay, that's going to be a big savings for the farm. And I know that these cattle are going to be able to handle that type of condition. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. you want to follow along for more regenerative agriculture and landscape healing practices, hit the subscribe button.